Hey you guys, welcome to another edition of Don't Be a Victim, social injustice episode. So if the symptom is social injustice, then the sickness is sin. And I think Daniel King said it best when he said something we need to understand as a people, that is, if the sickness is sin, then we need to blame the ventriloquist and not the dummy. Satan will use anyone that he can to further his agenda, from the overzealous Christian to the ignorant racist. I think the issue at hand is, what are we doing to see that? The problem is that too many people want to brush things under a rug or pretend like it's not there, it's not happening, and they refuse to realize that there are symptoms that are going on that are feeding into the sickness. And so I think people ask me, what do you think about Black Lives Matter? What do you mean, what do I think about it? I think they matter. Or what do you think about the travel ban? Because I'm an international studies major, I think we should have the freedom to move. I think people should have the freedom to protect themselves if they're in an unsafe situation. Yes, I feel like as Americans, we need to be able to be cautious of who we allow in to keep ourselves safe. But putting a travel ban on an entire country or on people who have certain religious beliefs, I think is ridiculous. Or when everybody and their mama had something to say about Kirkpatrick when he didn't want to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance or for the national anthem, Pledge of Allegiance. You can tell I was in school and we said it all the time. But the national anthem, because he felt like, why am I standing for this flag or for this purpose as uniting as a country when I myself am not free? And people are like, he needs to be fired, or he needs to sit down, he needs to lose his job. Or with the Black Lives Matter, they need to lose their jobs, or I would just run them over, they need to be thrown in jail. Like, everyone has so much to say. And now with what's going on with the not so peaceful protest in the South, no one's commenting on that. No one is posting about that. That's not an issue for them. But when all these things were going over to promote, unity in a community, or things were going on to help people to feel safe when there was injustice being had with people being murdered, like, everyone has something to say. Everyone had to open up their mouth with an opinion. And now with this, timelines are empty. No one's saying anything. There's no Snapchats. There's no YouTube videos being made of what they would do if they encountered protesters and things like that, which is very alarming to me. I think the issue is racism has been dormant, like a cancer, like a disease, for a very long time. And with this recent election, it's been allowed to be awoken. And people who claim that they weren't racist before are now having the opportunity to show their real colors, is essentially what it is. And so I think, people who told me that, like, literally told me to my face that, Black Lives Matter was dividing this country, and that it wasn't really an issue, and racism had died, and that, people who always want to play the victim were feeding into this and creating something that wasn't there. No, it's there. Just because you refuse to see, or because you have grown up in a place where you've never been a victim of discrimination, of racism, of bigotry, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Doesn't mean it's not there. Doesn't mean it's not something that someone has to encounter every day, because you and your privilege of where you've lived or the sheltered life that you've encountered has kept you from being able to see that. And so this video is just to let you know that even though it's very upsetting with what's going on in the South, it's very upsetting with the lack of outpour from the same people who had so much to say about Kirkpatrick and LGBT community and Black Lives Matter, that it's not their fault. It's not even the people who went out and started doing all this ignorant mess. It really is just Satan, who has a hold so tight of this world and of the people that he's able to put things in someone's mind, in their heart, that's so much hate, to destroy another person, another child of God.